And hope everyone's having a great day today. What do property taxes pay for in Florida? Why Ron DeSantis lawmakers want to lower them? This is a very important topic. This has been going around for quite some time in Florida. Some people think that the property taxes are going to go away altogether. Others are very, hesitant and don't think this. Well, it would be wonderful if property taxes went away. It would help a lot of people. But then, where is all the money going to come from that is going to be allocated towards public services? That's a good question. So anyways, Florida Legislature has taken aim at property taxes with an eye toward reducing or eliminating some of them altogether. Okay, so this includes 8 bills under discussion. All seek to slash property taxes in slightly different ways, but they all exempt the portion of property tax that goes to K through 12 school funding. They also specifically ban local governments from cutting law enforcement spending, even though state law already bars cities and counties from cutting police funding without state approval. So this is also very important. Now, Ron DeSantis, who has repeatedly called for the abolishment of property taxes altogether, at least for those with homestead exemptions, complained that the multiple bills are just political theater. And maybe they are. Okay, I know he's been working very hard to pass a bill, but there is no really clear plan on where this money is going to come from to pay for your police department, fire department, trash services, schools. So if we cut property taxes, that's a great thing, but get rid of them altogether would be wonderful. But then how do we pay for all the public services and funding? So this is a very important thing. So anyways, it's a political game, not a serious attempt to get it done for the people, he posted to X on October 22nd. Critics have pointed out that the reductions in property tax would force cuts in valuable community services, which could be true. Again, maybe we can get the sources of money from other means. But besides that, looking at this article, the move would also be another way to further erode the authority and power of local governments, or home rule, which has been a recurrent theme in many of the measures from Ron DeSantis and Florida's Republican legislators. During his time in office, DeSantis has overseen limitations on local emergency powers, prohibitions against investing taxpayer funds, using environmental, social, and governance guidelines, elimination of local governments' ability to challenge land use or zoning decisions, and more. So, the questions go, hey, how's this going to work? Besides that, speaking of property taxes, I asked AI, okay, from the last 5 years until now, how much has it gone up? Well, here is the answer. Over the last 5 years, property taxes for single-family homes across the U.S. have risen significantly, with national median payments increasing by 27.4% from 2019 to early 2025. Of course, much of this increase is tied to the dramatic raise in home values during and after the COVID-19 pandemic. But again, people can hardly pay for this, and taxes are a big portion of what people need to pay besides maintenance of a home and a mortgage. And this all comes down to who can afford this, which is so important to understand. Over 27% in the last 5 years, property taxes have gone up in Florida. On a national level, I should say, right? So that is outrageous. That's a lot of money. How are they using your money? How is this money being allocated? Are they being efficient, the local city and counties? I don't think so. What are property taxes? Well, this article kind of goes through, and we're skimming through this article because some of it is self-explanatory. But property taxes are fees you pay based on your property's assessed value, which is a percentage of what your property is worth. The more your property is worth, the higher your property tax bill will be. Yes, there is a correlation that is true. Even with the homestead exemption, all of that, it's still a lot of money. So what do your property taxes pay for in Florida? Well, if we look down this list, They just give an idea of schools, park, recreation, emergency management, dispatchers, police and fire departments, which is so important. And these are great people that work in those fields. But again, how can we get these services without paying all this money in taxes? And how is the money really being used by these local politicians? That's so important. Of course there's been fraud. Of course there's been embezzlement. It's all over. It's talked about. Anyways, they talk about how you can calculate your property taxes. Okay, and the mill rate, we'll kind of skip through that. And they talk about a mill rate and how it's calculated. But, I just want to go through this article based on why property taxes, why are they going to be eliminated? Maybe yes or no be eliminated. We're not sure. But here is an example right here. And they talk about your homestead exemption, right? And it decreases the property taxable value by as much as $50,000. Look, that's nothing on a $500,000, $1 million home. You need to think that this decrease, this homestead exemption, needs to be a lot more than 50 grand. They're actually talking about raising that to give more savings. That would be one solution to help out, especially in this economy, especially with what's going on with the home values. Homes are becoming more and more unaffordable for everybody alike. So who gets the money from property taxes? Well, your local county, your city government, blah, 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 your local school district, as we talked about, your local water management district, and others. Okay? What happens if Florida reduces or eliminates property taxes? Well, not to get into it really quick, but yes, we know that, however, your local community and your standard of living may suffer when local governments are forced to cut back. Well, why use the word cut back? Why not say they need to become more efficient with the money that's given to them instead of just squandering it away? Because they do a lot with this money, but some of the projects they build, for example, there was this park built recently in Daytona, and the public bathrooms cost millions of dollars. How do you come up with that number? How do you come up with that evaluation? Where is that money really going? Oh, in my personal opinion, is going in their pockets, into the local politicians' pockets. Now, again, that's just my personal belief and opinion, but there is a lot of truth. There's been people caught red-handed, and this article kind of goes over the different bills. So, this is just a brief overview of this article that we're talking about. Thanks again for watching. Give a thumbs up. They're free. Real estate is not. See you in the next article. Have a great day.